All right, you will need 2 blocks, access to a wall, and a strap if you like to work any of the king variations. We'll begin in hero's pose, and if you'd like to put a block underneath the bottom, do so. Take your knees nice and tight together, roll the flesh of the calves out of the way, and then sit heavy on the sitting bones. Close your eyes, rest your hands on your thighs. And begin to feel the way the toenails hook into your mat. And as the toenails hook into the mat, begin to lift the tops of your feet all the way off the mat. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. Bend your elbows out in front. Thread the left arm under the right for a Garudasana and eagle arm. Pull your elbows away from your face. Pull the hands away from the head. And imagine the back side of the chest, the shoulders, the heart gets really spacious. Untangle the arms and come to a standing forward bend. The feet will be the distance of the mat. The fingertips could rest on the floor. Let your head hang. And then returning to that hero's pose, drop down onto the knees, splay the flesh of the calves, sit. And then bend the elbows out in front, thread the opposite arm under for eagle arms, elbows up, hands away from the face. Go to the pit of the pelvic floor. Begin to lift up on the seat. And then untangling the arms. Coming to a standing forward fold. Again, feet hip distance. You can move your blocks out of your way. Resting the fingertips on the earth, tipping the weight. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, stretch up, arms above head. Release the arms. Catch your waist and take your pubic bone forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and use your big toes to control the folding of the chest back. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen. Step your left foot back, drop your knee, point your toe, marriage proposal, hands to the thigh. Similar to hero's pose, feel the toenails grip the ground. Come forward, hands plant, step back, low push-up. Over the toes, cobra or up dog. Slide back. Lift your left leg up. Step it between your hands, drop the back knee, point it, marriage proposal. Feel the toenail side grip, feel the pelvis get heavy, and observe if you notice a difference right to left. Release the fingertips to the earth, step forward, lengthen. Bow. Stand up, reach up. Release the arms. Catch your waist, take your pubic bone forward, squeeze the elbows together. Now eyes to the ceiling, if that feels safe. Live in your legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step your right foot back, drop it. This time, hands reach up, palms come together, and then splay them so just the big thumb, the thumbs are touching. Feel the C curve of the body from the right big toe to your palms. Bring your hands down, step back, low push-up. Over the toes, expose the heart. Slide back. Lift your right leg up and step it through to drop the back knee to the floor, point the toes. Reach your palms to touch, then just the thumbs, and lean your ears back in line with the biceps. Feel the C curve of the body from the back foot to the hands in the sky. Beautiful. Hands down, step forward, lengthen. Fold over the thighs. Stand up, arms up. Release the arms, one more like that. Catch the waist, pubic bone forward. See if you could take your eyes to the wall behind you. So we're slowly beginning to add a couple more peppers. And you know your practice, pull back, add where necessary. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Step your left foot back, drop your knee, grab a hold of your block, hold your block between your hands. Bend your arms back and bend your knee as though the block could touch the foot. Hamstring curl, shoulders back behind the ears. I want there to be a shake and a quiver in all three of the hamstrings. Release your block, hands down, step back, lower. Over the toes, lift the heart. Slide back. Lift your left leg up, step it through, drop your knee, point your toe, get your block. Bend your elbows back, hug your block with your hands, and take your heel toward your head. Biceps back, pubic bone forward, foot to head. Release the block, step forward, lengthen, fold over the thighs, stand up, arms up. Release the arms. Catch your waist, feet hip distance, lift the chest, fold, catch your big toes, look up. Fold in, let the head hang heavy, take the eyes up the wall behind. Tip the weight forward till you scare yourself. Inhale, lengthen, crow pose or a little squat. Tuck the knees upon the elbows, pick it up, dip it forward, feet tight. 3, 2, 1. Fly back, lower. Over the toes and up we go. Downward dog. Lift your right leg up. Step it between your hands, wiggle the back foot back, rise up, crescent lunge. Bend your elbows, left arm under, Garudasana, elbows point to the ceiling, right knee draws forward for 3. Big full breath. 2. 1. Untangle, open wide, warrior 2. Flip it. Extended side angle, elbow to knee, or plant the palm, left arm up and over. So for those of you that love to bind, feel free to bind. Beautiful. The eyes come down, the hands come down. Drop your back knee. So this is a side plank with a dancer's pose, but our left knee is down. So send the right foot back and plant the left palm, Some of us will move into a side plank on our knees. Some of us will catch the right ankle and kick back. A little bit like Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. A little bit like Ustrasana, camel. Plant your palms, 3-legged dog, right leg up. Sweep it through for pigeon posture. So the option, of course, is to bow over the front knee. Some of you might bend that back leg, catch it like a dancer, or take your king. Release the shape, hands plant, high plank, meet me there. Find a gazing point to the top of the mat like a tripod. Squeeze the inner thighs together to clear and to come back to neutral. Option 1, dolphin. Option 2, forearm stand. So when we bend our backs, it's crucial to come back through homeostasis. Reach up through the legs, tone the glutes. Stay 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Sit back, take child's. Let everything fall away. Downward facing dog, strike back. Lift your left leg up. Step it between the hands, wiggle that right foot farther back. Come up, crescent, Bend your elbows, right arm under, work the knee forward, tip the elbows to the sky, firm back leg. Firm back leg, wide open heart, stay 3. 2. 1. Untangle, warrior 2. Flip it. Extended side angle, elbow to knee or plant the palm. Extend the right arm. So for me personally, I often think I need like 27 vinyasas before I can backbend. There was an old school teacher that said, no, you need 5 Ujjayi pranayam and you can do anything. So again, we're going to do that side plank with a back bend, but our back knee will be down. Hands down, drop the right knee, and then plant the right palm, send the left leg back. You might stop there. You might catch the left ankle and kick back. Think Ustrasana, Ardha Chandrasana. Beautiful. 3-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Sweep it through for pigeon and any option. So we fold or we king bind it. Bigger breath. Untangle the shape, come forward, high push up to clear it. Tuck your ribs to your hips. Protract the shoulders, eyes set. Grip with the finger pads. 4, 3, 2, 1. Option 1, child's pose. Option 2, handstand. So you could use a wall. You could play in the center of the room. 5, 'Come all the way down, sit back, take child's, rest your forehead, collect your thoughts. Downward facing dog, push back. Walk your hands back to your feet, Padahastasana. Thread your hastas under your padas, your hands under your feet. Take an inhale, clear your belly. Take an exhale, close the posture. Keep knitting the sitting bones together. Keep dropping the weight in the head. Tip it forward. Inhale, lengthen. Catch your waist, stand all the way up for Natrajasana dancer's pose at the back of your mat. You could go for a traditional dancer's. You could also work your king and use your wall to support you. We'll be on our left leg. The key is the drishti, the gazing point. Catch your ankle or grab your foot. Let's dance. So if you have a strap, same idea, biceps behind the ears. release the pose. Beautiful work. Take a beat, let it settle. Opposite side, Natrajasana, dancer's pose, ankle or foot. Let's tango. And release the shape. Bring your feet so that they're ducked out to the side in a little squat. So for those of you that are binding in side angle, it's time for you to start to consider birds of paradise because you can. So lifting the bottom up, thread your right arm underneath your right knee and see if your left hand could catch. You might stop there, you might heel toe the feet together, anchor into the left foot, and stand up, birds of paradise. Beautiful, come all the way down. So Devin, Lori, you guys are ready for this. Lift your bottom, thread the left arm under. You might even want to use a chair to step up on. Walk that right foot through center and maybe stand up or just work your bind. 3, 2, 1. Release the shape wherever you are, stunning cat. Untangle the shape, slide forward and come down onto your hands and your knees. Inhale, drop your belly, widen your thighs. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop your belly, widen your thighs. Exhale, round. Rise up to stand up on the knees for Ustrasana, but we're not going to reach our hands back. Think Prasarita B with the tips of the elbows squeezing together, and take your eyes as far back as possible. I prefer pointed toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades, push your pubic bone forward, eyes go back, see if you could see your baseboard. And you'll notice you have to drop your pelvis a little lower. See how low you could look, maybe to your own mat. 3, 2, 1, come all the way up. It's a headstand or it's a hero. Take a beat. 2, 1. If you're upside down, come up, right side up. Bring your eyes toward me. So you might like to put some pillows under your head. If you're able to take a hero's pose, you're able to do this, but watch what I do. So you don't have to go all the way down. So my thumb and first finger track my bum. Okay, so there's my bum. And then it tracks my hamstrings, and at this point I have to drop my head. And then I feel for the backs of my knees to then lower my head, hardest part getting back out. Ustrasana or Legu Vidrasana. Catch your waist, little pixie wings. Track your glutes, maybe stop there. Maybe track your thighs and go all the way back, head to the floor, buns to buns. You got it, trust yourself. What's the worst that could happen? 3, 2, 1. Slingshot yourself up, plant your palms, send your hips to the sky, downward dog. Lift your right leg up. Step it between your hands to transition to Prasarita A, long edge. Lengthen. Fold in, crown of the head to the floor. If you want to go upside down, go for it. Otherwise, stay just the way you are. If you're upside down, release the feet. Inhale, lengthen. Pivot yourself to face your right leg for Hanuman or Ardha Hanuman. So some of you might feel saucy and you might go into full Hanuman. And if you're all the way down in Hanuman, you could bend your knee and catch your ankle or work your mermaid bind or your king bind. Take 5 big full breaths. Wherever you are, come all the way up. We'll turn this into a twist. Find a marriage proposal. Left arm up, hook it over, clear it. Kick out through your leg. Clear the back. Clear the hamstrings. Come back to neutral, and it can be that quick. Your eyes come down, your hands come down, step forward, lengthen, fold over the thighs, lengthen, Bakhasan crow one more time, hook those knees or play, 3, 2, 1, shoot back, lower, over the toes and up, downward dog. Reach your left leg up. Step it between the hands, Prasarita D, long edge of the mat, catch the big toes, inflate, fold in. Elbows high, inner thighs wide, head down, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lengthen, pivot to face the left leg, half split or full split. And again, some of you might even choose to bend the back leg for a little tiny dancer, or take your king, not your Ajasana variation in Hanuman. Turning this into a twist, untangle, lunge, reach your right arm up, hook it over deeply, and then set the arms, set the legs, set the eyes, 3, 2, 1. Take your eyes down, take your hands down, step forward, lengthen, fold over the thighs, stand all the way up, release the arms. Okay, so these are not wall walks, but it's a similar thing, but you're gonna stay for 5 full breath, like it was in Urdhva Dhanurasana, a full wheel. The farther you are away from the wall, the bigger the dip, but you want to make sure that your arms are straight, which is a challenge. So I'll be a leg's distance away from the wall, and then pivot, and I want you to drop into it like you would have dropped back. So consider knees are bent, pubic bone goes forward, and you spot before you let your hands go. Hands to heart center. Bend your knees, take your pubic bone forward, spot the wall, arms reach back, stay 5. Keep your legs straight. Keep your eyes set. Strong arms, 3, 2, 1, all the way up. Come through neutral. Bend your knees, hands on the knees. Let's take 2 Nali Kriya, so a retention and then a hollowing back of the belly. Take an inhale. Exhale. Hold it empty, lift it. Release your belly. One more round. Take an inhale. Exhale. Hold it empty, lift it. Release your belly. Stand up. Okay. Go a little bit farther away from the wall. We'll do this one more time, and I want it held lower on the wall. So you might be all the way at the baseboards, and you might be pushing your chest against the wall. Hands to heart center, bend your knees, trust yourself. Take your pubic bone forward, eyes back, spot the wall, and land. Stay 5, start to straighten out those legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up, face the wall. Bend your knees and put your shoulders against the wall as you straighten out the legs and clear the low back. So that's an Urdhva Dhanurasana from the top to the bottom, and if you're learning how to drop back, it usually happens as down first. One of the biggest elements is that you can spot where you're going. Your eyes are on your head so they can help you see. Come all the way up. And we'll do a little bit of wall work before we do more Urdhva Dhanurasanas. So set your mat up, short edge against the wall. Grab a hold of your blocks. Take your left shin against the wall and slide the right foot forward, and we'll do our marriage proposal stance. Put your hands on your thigh. So the patella is that round little bone that's on the knee, the kneecap. And I like to put my weight at the top of my quadricep. And for some of you, that's going to be really intense. You might add a blanket. Now let's take our head back, see if we could touch the wall or go near the wall for 5. Grip with your toes, open your throat. Pubic bone forward, 3. Come all the way up. Keep your shin against the wall and turn this into a pigeon. And maybe put a block underneath your right hip if that makes you feel a little more stable. And we'll turn this into a king pigeon, so you'll notice I'm quite high purposefully. And then reach the arms up. And then see if you could touch the wall or just like reach the hands back. Maybe slide them back. Maybe catch your foot. Come all the way forward. Sit over on your right hip and stomp your left foot over top of your knee to turn this into a twist. Left arm behind the back, right elbow catches the knee as we spin open. Clear it. So there is this mood that comes along with backbending, and it's sort of, if you can think about a very dimly lit room with lava lamps and candles and jazz music, that's the feeling of a backbend. You know, at first it's a bit shocking to the senses, and then you get more comfortable, but you have to stay easy. Spin it forward. We'll take an L-shaped handstand before we move to the opposite side. So you might get some hang time. You might just use it to clear the back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. It's the right shin against the wall. Again, use blocks if necessary. Hands on the knee, melt the pelvis. And this might be good enough, but there might be some tension, some information for you. And then you might start to lean back, maybe put your head on the wall or closer to it, melt your pelvis forward. Pull it forward to move into Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, pigeon. Your heel is really tight to your pubic bone. You're quite high. You might put a block under your left hip. You might hold your blocks. You might reach the arms up, reach back, maybe fish for the foot. Come all the way out. And then from here, we'll sit on our left hip and sweep the right leg around, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Reach the right hand behind the back, the left elbow catches the knee, spin your chest open. The eyes come forward as we set ourselves up first for our back bends with a hand and shoulder support, and then we'll go feet. So spin yourself to face your wall. Take your blocks and put them at an angle where the baseboards catch them and you're safe. This is really important. So the more inclined this is, the more intensity there'll be on the wrist. So we just want like a little bit of a wrist support. So they'll be shoulder distance apart and then spin around. And if you prefer little bridge, by all means, take little bridge. So we'll walk it in nice and close. Have your feet super close to your bottom. Let your phalanges, your fingers, hang off the edges of your blocks, elbows tight. Come to the top of your head. And then rise all the way up, but come up onto your tippy toes and try to reach your chest to the wall. Look between the blocks. 3, 2, 1. Come down, take a moment, let it land. Whew. Second round, fingers on the blocks, rise to the crown of the head. You might stop there. You might straighten out your arms, maybe walk it in, maybe kiss the wall. And come all the way down, take a moment, let it land. I'm alive, okay, good. Now come up and spin around. So we'll take our blocks and we'll put them against our wall. And what we'll do is we're basically going to give our feet extensions. So we're going to lift the feet up to know what it might feel like if we had longer legs. So I like my toes to flush against the wall like a crescent lunge, as though the sole of the foot was exposed, and come down onto your back. Now you might opt for a little bridge here. It'd be pretty sweet also. Otherwise, hands under the shoulders, rise to the head, and come all the way up, and see if you could walk it in now that you have longer legs. You might touch your knees to the wall. You might feel claustrophobic. Come all the way down, let it settle. If anybody's working those kickovers, you could do it from here. Otherwise, we'll do an Urdhva Dhanurasana one more time. Hands under the shoulders, rise to your head, squeeze your elbows, come up, maybe walk it in. And come all the way in. Hug your knees to your belly. Make a rock to side so you could push the one side of your sacrum into the floor and then the other. Take the arms out wide, knees to the left, eyes to the right. Again, the backbending practice is very different than anything else. It's super nuanced, and it's very easy for people to run away because it's very scary. Bring your knees through center, let them fall to the opposite side, eyes over the opposite shoulder like we could wring out our backs. Bring your knees through center, give yourself a hug, cross your ankles, rock up to a seat for a Paschimottanasana with your feet against the wall. Okay, so my feet press into the wall, you've got your blocks if you need them, and then let yourself fall. So we'll look at one last thing before we close our practice. And that's the transition from flipping your dog. So it might just be learning how to flip the dog, and it might be ending up in an Urdhva Dhanurasana, a full wheel from there. Sit up and bring your eyes toward me. So flipping the dog, it does not have to be a huge back bend. It could actually be more of a side bend. So let me demo it as a side bend. So here I am. I'll lift my leg up, bend my knee. You know, I'm not taking it into a back bend yet. I'm gonna roll to the pinky toe edge and look underneath my armpit to set my foot behind me, and then that leg kind of wiggles out in front like a side plank. Same thing, planting the palms, coming back through center. So we'll do that together, but I'd like to show you then to get into Urdhva D. So same thing, I lift my leg, I bend it, I peek underneath the armpit, I roll my foot. Okay. So if I'm starting to get into this territory of my pelvis high and my hand almost touches the floor, I know I'm ready. I'll bend my bottom hand, kind of start to spin it to plant the other hand and walk it in. Then to get out, I bend my elbows, I spin my hand, I zipper through center. So let's play flipping the dog, and then if we want to go full Urdhva D, we could do that. So downward facing dog, we go. Set your eyes, so this is not a back bend, so get it out of your head if you're like, nope, my body doesn't do that. Lift your right leg up and then bend your knee. Tip your weight forward to a plank and then peek underneath your left armpit, roll to the pinky toe edge of the left foot, lower the right. Now some of you might pop the pelvis up toward the sky. Looking good. Beautiful. Zipper through center. Release your foot, come back to dog. Opposite side, left leg up, bend it, high plank. Look underneath your armpit, roll to the pinky toe edge of the right, lower the left, side body or Urdhva D, like a back bend. And then zipper your way through center and release your feet. Okay, so before we go into the full Urdhva Dhanurasana, take a look at your hands. Put your hands on the ground. So when you're doing any king binding, any pivoting into back bend, you need to know the final destination of the hand. So take a look at your right hand and pivot your thumb away from you, like you're going into a full wheel hand. Now pull that hand back through center, look at your left hand, spin your left palm like an Urdhva. Come back through center. So this is what ends up happening. Meet me on all fours. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, stack your hip. And then what ends up happening is when that foot is on the ground, that right hand spins so that the fingers face the knee. So we'll just do that for a moment. Spin the hand back through center, release the knee. Opposite side, right leg up, bend it, open it, and then spin your left hand so that your fingers face your knees like a full wheel. Zipper it through center, release the knee. So you'll either flip your dog or you'll take a flipped dog Urdhva Dhanurasana, stop wherever you want to stop, and you could simply watch. Downward dog we go. Lift your right leg up, bend it, stack it, peek underneath the armpit. You might start to roll it open to flip it. And if your pelvis starts to go high and you could flip your feet like an Urdhva D, maybe you bend that left arm, start to spin it to lower the right then the left, Urdhva. And then spin your left hand to face forward through center, release the foot. Other side, left leg up, bend it, stack it, maybe flip it. And if you could flip your toes like a full wheel, maybe you spin your left hand, right hand, lower the left, Urdhva. Come all the way through center. Release your knees down. Take them as wide as your mat or almost. Take your right arm through. Place your shoulder and your ear down. Come through center, opposite side, thread it, place the ear like we could clear out the back body. And then come all the way through neutral, bring your knees together. Tuck your toes. See if you could clasp your heels round your back and bring your head to the floor in rabbit. And when you're here, puff up the middle of the back. 3, 2, 1. Release, and we'll close with our legs up the wall. I like a support, so you might want blocks underneath your bottom. Scooch yourself up to side saddle the wall, and then you kind of put the feet on the wall to get your hips on your blocks. Let the palms face up. Take an inhale. One more. I talk a lot about landing. And again, depending on the style of practice, requires a different attitude and a different feel. The same is true if you're performing on a stage, watching television, cooking dinner, hanging with friends. It's different. How fast can you enter the mood? Notice if there is a cooling feeling as the blood drains from the feet to the hips. To practice yoga is wonderful, but to pay attention is the point. Take a deep inhale. One more. Wiggle your hands and your feet. Tuck your knees in towards your belly to roll over to the right. It might not be that graceful. And then rise to a seat. Notice the temperature in your space. Notice the temperature of your toes. How free does the breath feel? Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes and bow your chin and know that this nightclub with the lava lamps and the fancy cocktails and the dimly lit room is always available. Lifting our eyes and our hearts to each other. Namaste.